Good morning. It's Friday. I'm supposed to be going to work, but we have a day off. It's winter vacation for the schools. And of course, I woke up on time to go to school. Your metabolism, your body becomes used to a certain routine, and then on a day off, you can sleep in. But I refuse to leave the bed. I'm going to stay in bed for a little bit longer. It feels like you're cheating because you should be at work but you're not, and you're just kind of feeling strange, because it's almost like you feel guilty because you're not working. It's amazing. I don't think we know how to rest or how to turn off our brains or how to be in the moment. Or it's maybe just me. I don't think I'm the only one. I've heard this many times. On Sunday, everybody wakes up early, but other days, you want to sleep in. Yeah, the Canada vs USA hockey game was on last night. The amount of hate on social media after the game is unbelievable. I mean, people are saying, F you, USA, all that jazz, which is so funny. I mean, we played a bunch of players who were chosen to be on a team. Half of them were not American, honestly. And yet somehow we tend to put the entire nation behind that team. So let's say if we were meet an American, we would fight him just because of that game. The tension is in the air for sure. They have created that. And as I said earlier in the video, from last night, this is all done purposely. The puppets, the puppets and the masters know exactly how to pull on our heartstrings. Emotional conditioning is also something I've been talking about for a long time. I remember, my kids grew up in South Korea, and they had a strong dislike towards Japan, because at some point Japan occupied South Korea, and I went through their books in school, and there was nothing in those books that would indicate that anyone would come out of a school system thinking, or having a dislike or hate towards Japan. But somehow all Korean people have that kind of disdain towards Japan. It's funny, you're presented with these amazing facts, and somehow your conclusions are completely different. And this is something that's really important in philosophy, didactical thinking by Hegel. I don't want to get into it because I'm not an expert. But, look at the movie, for example, Super Size Me by McDonald's. It's a negative movie about all the horrible things about McDonald's. And I honestly started eating McDonald's right after watching that movie. I remember my ex-wife and I were, taking care of our newborn child, and we were talking about all these healthy regimens that we want to implement into our diet and whatnot. And then we watched that movie and immediately put a baby in a stroller and walked 4 kilometers to the nearest, McDonald's so we can get McDonald's. Negative advertising. I was a professor of marketing for 10 years. And believe me, I understand how it works. Which is why I never really wanted to work in marketing, because it's devil's work. It's convincing people that they need something or they want something, that they desire something even though they don't need it. Kind of like me and the guitars. I have 3 guitars and I want more. There's people who have hundreds of guitars. I'm just as guilty as they are. Really, all you need is one. You don't really need a guitar. Also, you can just sing and create sound in that way. I wonder how the Neanderthals had their concerts. The first singer in the cave, and they will get tired of him. Oh my God, stop singing, get out of the cave, let us sleep. This video is about the prices of commodities. Last night after the show, I was thinking whether I should go out, do something, or maybe spend some time with my kids. So one of the kids said, yeah, sure, I want to spend some time. Let's get some food. So we were originally thinking about going to McDonald's. And because I spoke so negatively about all that stuff in the previous few videos, we decided, excuse me, to get some Subway. It's a sandwich shop, right? So they have vegetables and whatnot. But my goodness, it's the same thing. Whether you buy vegetables or you buy meat or you buy whatever, everything seems to be processed these days. There's no more healthy alternatives or options. We are completely convinced that it's impossible to eat healthy, which is not true. I mean, just the food that's given to us is really unhealthy. I mean, look at the tomatoes, they are plastic. Everything is grown in such a way that is genetically modified. So whether you're having meat or vegetables, you're still eating the same thing. In fact, meat is vegetables now with new Beyond Meat options, which means probably that vegetables is meat. So everything is backwards. Two of us went to a Subway sandwich shop and we paid $40 for 2 sandwiches. If you remember in my previous videos, I talked about the young woman going to her minimum wage job and she was getting $15 an hour. So that means she has to work for 2 hours, to get these 2 sandwiches. She'll get 1 sandwich for an hour and no tip. So you have to have a good job, I mean, if you're a teacher or something like that, which I'm not right now, I'm just a student assistant, you will probably get more money. Or if you're a CEO or something like that, a manager of some big corporation, you will probably get more money. What is it? One of my clients in Samsung, when I was working as a cultural consultant there, was making like, I don't even remember, something like $10,000 a day, so that means that he was making like $1,000 an hour or something like that, or more. So more responsibility, more money. In the video about a woman who provides sexual services for $40 means also that there is a price for that as well. I'm crude, of course, and this is all very, very crudely done. I'm not thinking about what I'm posting. I gave up on that. I just don't want to get in trouble, of course. But, it has to be said. Who decides on price of commodities? Everything is agreed upon. The people who own the ways of production and everything else sit down and decide, 1 hour is going to be this much, 1 sandwich is going to be that much, this is going to be this much. So let's say if you go out on a date, you'll spend $100 and you probably won't be able to get anywhere near that person that night because you're creating love and tension. But if you were to go out with a sex worker for $100, within 5 minutes you pretty much get everything you really want as a man. Not love, because love is different. Do not confuse love and lust, of course. And I always talk about it that in such a way that it should be one thing, but it isn't. So let's take a case of our beloved President of the United States, who was given his, first hotel or whatever when he was young man. So imagine, just because you come from a certain rich family with privileges, you can go to a bank and the bank will give you a $10 million loan. And you get those 10 millions and you get your lawyers, your investments, you give money to them. They invest money into buying some kind of hotel. You open a hotel, you make money. So everybody's making money. The banks are making money, the construction workers are making money, the lawyers, the advertisers. All you do is just sit and enjoy. Marry a beautiful woman from Slovenia. Do whatever the hell you want, pretty much. Because you are untouchable. You were born under a lucky star. You were born with a silver spoon, you know, but it ain't me. That's how the prices are decided. You know, somebody decides that you have to, stand in one spot as a security guard for like all night so you can afford a meal in a restaurant that will take you 10 minutes to eat. Amazing. And then, I'm supposed to teach my children the value of work, the value of everything, the commodities and whatnot. And even a child can see that everything is false, that everything is kind of subjective, that everything is decided beforehand. Who will be rich, who will be poor, who will be the new president, who will be the new prime minister. And he pretty much sees that he's screwed. For the rest of his life, he'll work in order to support himself so he can have a roof over his head, some food on his table, and, get a chance to play some games in the meantime, or in my case, play music. And this is why our kids are disillusioned. So when you deal with kids who can see the world for what it is, and then you're trying to teach them, oh yes, you have to wake up every morning, go to school, brush your teeth, eat vegetables. The toothpaste that we have is destroying our teeth more so than anything else. The water is polluted, vegetables are garbage. Meat is vegetables. If you work hard, you'll get nowhere. If you cheat, lie, and steal, or kill, you'll get somewhere. What is it? There's a proverb in Saudi Arabia or something like that. It says that it's easier for a camel to go to thread a needle than a rich person to go to heaven. You cannot get to a certain point without stamping over others. So in order for you to get somewhere, you have to walk over someone else's destiny. The whole idea of competition has been embedded into our capitalist society. So if I want to succeed, I really need to push someone down in one way or another, whether as a musician, whether as a businessman, whether as a politician. I watched a TikTok in which an African American claims that they are the true Homo sapiens, while we are, as Caucasians, are not even Homo sapiens because we are still close to Neanderthals, and we build our entire system on savagery. If you can see that, the British Empire was built on destruction, on other empires, so was French, so were Italians or colonial powers. They went into places and ravaged places. They killed, they stole, and they got rich. And now we celebrate British Empire. Now we celebrate French. Now we celebrate Germans. You know, I don't think Germany ever lost the war. If you look at it now, we have Golf, we have Mercedes, Adidas, Puma, all the Siemens, Bosch, all the major players in the market come from Germany. People travel thousands of miles on foot just to enter Germany, you know. Japan is the same. So history and the prices of commodity are dictated by those who are willing to commit atrocities. Pretty much. So might makes right. That's what it is. And then in the end, if you're not willing to go against your own brother or sister, you're never going to succeed. I have always, unfortunately or fortunately, been this way. I just don't believe in competition. I don't believe that in order for me to succeed, I have to destroy someone else. No. As a musician, I've always shared my stages. I've invited everyone to come play with me, to express themselves, to be able to share the world. Everything that I have, I'm okay to share. Until some point it becomes, people start taking advantage of you, of course. But even then, the universe actually balances things out. And I have to work on it. For example, I used to share my musical instruments with everyone. And then I realized people, would come and play and they would not be able to help me later on to change the strings, to fix the guitar. And I became a little bit more selfish. So there are some things that I have to work on. I mean, sharing is caring. I also talk about this in the Newfound Reality, the fact that all private property will be abolished soon, that there will no longer be, my car, my house, my wife, my children, my country, my life. None of this belongs to us, obviously. Even your right to life will be at disposal of someone else. If you're profitable, if you are a contributing member of society, you're going to be getting privileges to live. If you're not contributing, your life will be taken away from you. In many ways, economically, financially, like I said, spiritually, emotionally, it doesn't really work in a way that somebody's going to come and, unlive you. But if you are playing by the rules, you're going to get everything. Be good, and good will happen to you. But if you start questioning, and you know what happens, we say that night will eat you. Italians say that, so do communists. What was it, the joke about a whole bunch of dead people in the forest, and the United Nations came to ask what happened to these people, and the opposing sides was like, they ate poisonous mushrooms. Look at this guy, dead, ate poisonous mushrooms. This guy ate poisonous mushrooms. There was a guy with a bullet hole in his head. So they say, what happened to this guy? Well, he didn't want to eat poisonous mushrooms. Yeah. That's it. 2 sandwiches, $40. My goodness. 1 hour of work, $15. 10. And then try to live and try to teach our youth that there's something worth living for. But there is. Life is beautiful, man. It is absolutely beautiful. I see beauty everywhere. I am enjoying it every single day, whether it's just sleeping, playing music, spending time with our loved ones. The nature is amazing. Water always makes me happy. But that magic is free. big industrialists don't like that. They would like to package the sea, package the nature, and everything to be for sale. Yet the best things in life are free. Yeah. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday.